So this is a video that should help you with the long division problem with polynomials on page 362. So first I'm just going to rewrite the problem, and this will illustrate one important thing that you need to keep in mind as you're carrying out these problems. Okay, so we get x squared minus 3x plus 5. Divided into 3x to the fourth minus 5x to the third. And then this is important. We don't have a value for x squared, so we put plus 0x squared. Then plus 4x minus 6. Okay, so then we look at the first term here and the first term here, and we ask ourselves, what can we multiply x squared by to give us 3x to the fourth? So take a minute to think of what you would multiply x squared by to get 3x to the fourth. Should be 3x squared. Then we distribute this 3x squared to the polynomial that's being divided into the other polynomial. So we distribute that. And we put our answer here. So we'll get 3x to the fourth. Negative 3x here times 3x squared will give us negative 9x to the third. And then 3x squared times 5 will give us 15x squared positive. And here we have plus 0 plus 0. Okay, next we change all of these signs because we're distributing a negative to this polynomial. Okay, and then we combine the two polynomials. So the first two will always cancel if we've done our job correctly. And then for the next one, we have negative 5x to the third plus 9x to the third, so that will give us 4x to the third. 0x squared minus 15x squared gives us minus 15x squared. And then we really are just bringing these down since we're subtracting 0 from each of these. So then we have plus 4x minus 6. Okay. Next, we're looking at 4x to the third here and asking ourselves, what do we multiply x squared by to give us 4x to the third? So we would multiply x squared by 4x. Positive 4x. Okay. So let's do that. Okay, so we're distributing this positive 4x. And we'll get 4x to the third. Minus 12x squared. Plus 20x. Okay, then see if you remember what we do next. We should distribute a negative to every single one of these terms in the bottom. And then we combine the terms. So we'll get these 4x to the thirds will cancel, which will always be the case. And then we'll get negative 3x squared here. 4x minus 20x will give us negative 16x. And negative 6 minus 0 will give us negative 6. Okay, and then lastly, we look at negative 3x squared, and we ask ourselves, what can we multiply x squared by to give us negative 3x squared? So we'd have to multiply it by negative 3. And then just as we have with other parts of the problem, we multiply negative 3 times x squared, negative 3x, and 5. So that'll give us negative 3x squared and 9x plus 9x. And lastly, negative 3 times 5 will give us negative 15. Okay, and then we need to distribute a negative to each of these terms. And then we combine these terms, so the first terms cancel. Negative 16x minus 9x gives us negative 25x. And lastly, negative 6 plus 15 gives us positive 9. And then the very last step of this problem is to just check out what the exponent is for this term, and you'll see that you are not able to divide x squared in here. So you know that this is your remainder, and you have to put that over the polynomial you're dividing in for the problem. So finally, you'll put negative 25x. This is just as your remainder, plus 9, over x squared minus 3x plus 5. So your final answer will be this, which is 3x squared plus 4x minus 3 with remainder negative 25x plus 9 over x squared minus 3x plus 5.